I am Mang-Kano, and today we are cooking one of my favorite Filipino dishes, pork belly adobo.
Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in today's video. Right now we are taking one of our red onions that we are going to be cutting the tops off, split right down the middle. Then we can just peel the outside of that onion off, set them to the side. You can always use that extra onion part for a stock if you wish. And then we're just going to go ahead and slice these up real thin. Once we get those all sliced up, we can just set them in the bowl and push them to the side and move on to the next ingredient. Now we have our garlic. We're going to use about 5 bulbs here just to bust that open. I used the back of the knife there, help separate them a little bit. And then with each clove, we're going to be smashing those with the back of the knife, get that nice good inside out. And then once we get all that taken care of, we are going to use the back of the knife again, and then we're going to spread those out. Makes it a little bit easier for chopping. Another tip I like to do is just add a little bit of water when you're chopping. Helps it make sure that the garlic's not too sticky. Got our nice pork belly, lots of fat with the skin on. Leave the skin on, that's important. Once it renders down, adds a real nice flavor. So we're just going to split this down the middle and then slice this up in nice 1-inch chunks, or around 1 inch. Want to keep the pieces uniform so everything cooks evenly and together. Now we've got all our ingredients prepped. We can begin to cook. Before we get to cooking, we're going to get our rice ready. I usually like to wash the rice 2 or 3 times. Get some of that gluten out of there. Clean it up a little bit. Some people like to let the water run until it's clear. You don't have to, just give it a good 2 or 3 washings, and then after your rice is all clean and washed up, we will be using the infamous finger trick for cooking rice. Put your finger in the first line right there. That's all you need to fill up. You'll have perfect rice every time. Now over to the beautiful rice cooker that we've had for far too long. But we're just going to put that in there, click the white rice setting, let it go. And we are using jasmine rice. Now we can start cooking. Put a little bit of oil in the pan, just enough to coat the bottom, maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons. That may have been a bit much, but we want to just coat that bottom nice. Then we're going to add in our sliced onion, and we're going to render that down for a couple of minutes. garlic, and we're gonna stir that together and let everything come together and just slowly cook down together until the onions are nice and translucent and there's a little bit of color coming into the garlic. This is what we're looking for in the onions and garlic. Now we're going to add our pork belly. Don't worry about spacing it out and not crowding the pan. We're not looking for any nice browning on the outside of this pork. We're just getting everything in together so all the flavors can mix. Stir that up. You'll start seeing a little bit of browning and some fond building up on the bottom of the pan. We want that. That's just going to add for more flavor whenever we add our liquids. Now that's cooked for a little bit, got a little bit more color coming in. We're almost about ready to get our liquids in and let this braise. All right, now we're ready for the sauce. Let's start off with our soy sauce. That in. Now the soy sauce we're using does have calamansi in it, which adds a little bit more flavor. Stir that up. Right into our oyster sauce. You can adjust the amount of oyster sauce you want to use depending on your liking of it. I'm going to add some black pepper in here. You can use about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. Again, with the salt and the pepper, you can adjust to your liking. We're not adding salt just because the oyster sauce and the soy sauce has plenty of salt in it. Now we're going to put our lid on here and kind of just let this braise together for a few minutes. Now we want to take the lid off, just stir everything together, see how we're doing. Right now the liquid's reducing and creating a very nice caramelized pork belly and onion and garlic. And this is when we add our bay leaves. We're using 3 bay leaves for this amount of pork belly. Stir that together a little bit. The smells and the aromas coming off of this is heavenly. Lid back on. Let's braise this for a few more minutes. Lid's hot. As you can see, once I stirred this up, that sauce is. Now we're gonna add our 7-Up. Some recipes call for light brown sugar or dark brown sugar. We like to add 7-Up. You can also use Sprite. This adds a little bit of extra flavor to it. lid back on and let this cook for another 10 to 20 minutes. Now you can really see the sauce getting a nice dark color. It's sticking to the pork belly. Just fortifying all that flavor together. Now we're going to add just a little bit of vinegar just to cut that fattiness and the sweetness of the 7-Up. So we've had this cooking now for half an hour now. As you can see, it's very caramelized. It's sticking to the pork belly. Sweet, slightly sticky. It's pulling away from the bottom of the pan. And that's it. Now we're going to serve it up in this nice little wooden bowl. See that dark, rich color and that sauce just sticking to the pork belly. And use that extra sauce that was in the pan, do a nice dramatic drizzle. And there you go. We did add some chilies in there. Don't cut them, we're not really looking for the spice. It just adds a little bit of flavor. And that's what we've got. Our pork belly adobo is looking fantastic.
Pork belly adobo. Pork belly adobo.